Significant dangers. It will be intense. It will take 1 minute 51, 1 minute 52 seconds, and there is no hiding place from start to finish. Thank you to Rachel. Thank you to Tom, Richard Hoyles, Tim Barder, all the team who've put this together. Thank you for your company tonight on a spectacular night in Riyadh. Richard Hoyles with the Saudi Cup.
For the Saudi Cup, a little bit slow away, Ushbatazoro, and early on it is Walk of Stars who moves forward. Romantic Warrior jumped well and just moves off the rail to get some clear daylight and avoid the kickback, looking for Forever Young, who's broken well and is right across the field as well. Al Musmak is racing in a handy position with Defunded through the first 200. They're being followed by Ramjet, and also there is Wait to Excel. As last year, Ushbatazoro's the one off the back end. Also towards the back at this stage is Rattle and Roll well behind as they make their way through the first 400 metres. Forever Young in the maroon colours, but it's Al Musmak towards the outside with Defunded, and right there on the running rails, Walk of Stars. Romantic Warrior tracks them in 5th place, Pale Blue racing on the inside of Wait to Excel, then Ramjet wider out to the white cap of El Código. Factor Cheval is at the back of that leading group on the outside of Wilson Tesoro. Then behind those is Intense for Me, still a gap back to Wood and Sun. Rattle and Roll well back, and Ushbatazoro as Romantic Warrior moves off the running rail as they approach the bend. So out in the lead, Forever Young on the outside, disputing it with Walk of Stars. Right round the outside, Romantic Warrior will be 5 wide into the turn, but he's poised under James McDonald as the big two move through. Forever Young, Romantic Warrior sweeps up on the outside for Hong Kong. They lock horns, and it's Romantic Warrior who finds most initially from Forever Young in 2nd place. The two of them are clear from Wilson Tesoro and Factor Cheval, two of the great racehorses in the world. And at the moment, Romantic Warrior holds sway. His rider looks across. Forever Young is trying to close, and he's beginning to do so. Romantic Warrior from the outside. Forever Young has got to within 3 parts of a length. Romantic Warrior, Forever Young, a race for the ages, and Forever Young rounds off a terrific night for Japan, runs down Romantic Warrior and breaks Hong Kong hearts. Back in 3rd place, Ushbatazoro, Rattle and Roll from the back. Wilson Tesoro next with Ramjet. Then behind those, Walk of Stars dropped out.
Oh my lord, that is one of the most heart-rending defeats for a Hong Kong horse you've ever seen.
And that is one of the most amazing victories for a Japanese runner. So let's start with the winner.
Absolutely.
And then we'll deal with the loser.
It's a mighty, mighty performance from both horses, because Ushbatazoro is a high-quality international globe-trotting tur horse, and he has been left along with the rest gasping as these two gladiators square off in the last 600 metres. What a duel, Tom Collins.
Wow. That is what you want from a top quality race. Look, we could have had a race here where Romantic Warrior kicked clear at 1 by 7.
James, stop looking at the screen.
Sure, we could have had a race where Forever Young 1 by 7. We had the duel. Forever Young got in the right spot. Romantic Warrior circled like the quality horse he is, and Forever Young came back. That will go down in history as one of the greatest races, I'm sure.
James McDonald looked at the screen multiple times and he saw Nemesis on his outside. That is a wonderful, wonderful horse race. Brilliant. There is no question that Romantic Warrior has run to his number 125, Rachel.
No, and the great thing is, he took the kickback.
Didn't he run better than everyone thought?
And also, James McDonald did the right thing. I'm literally on probably one of the best horses in the world, albeit turf, dirt, whatever. He went 5 wide. He got out of the kickback. He gave his horse the opportunity. And the one thing is, he's got the turn of foot. He's got the turf horse turn of foot. Forever Young is a quintessential dirt horse. He'll hit that flat spot, and then he ground it out. And that's what he did here to just get the better of Romantic Warrior.
I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment here, but here we go. Have we just seen the best dirt horse in the world,
yes,
and the best turf horse in the world going head to head in the Saudi Cup?
Well, I've already bet, I know it's like classic after timing, and I apologise, but I've bet him for the Classic this year. I think he is the best dirt horse in the world. Romantic Warrior is the proven best turf horse, right?
The quote from Connections of Forever Young ahead of this week:
were aiming to make him the best in the world. Maybe they just did, because they've just beaten an all-time great Hong Kong horse who was given everything. And trip-wise, Tom, trip-wise, you be handicapping this race, Rachel, and you're upgrading one horse in terms of trip, and it's Romantic Warrior. But anyway, some people call him Hatman and his interpreter. I call him a genius. His real name is Yoshito Yahagi, and he has taken out the Saudi Cup in a race for the ages.
Take your breath away horse race. What a race and what a win for Forever Young. Mr. Yagi, congratulations. How do you feel?
すごいレースでした。なんか息一回整えてって思うんですけど、本当にすごいレースでしたね。
ちょっと信じられないですね。本当に信じられない強さです。
Unbelievable how he is good. Unbelievable.
Tell me about the strength, the resolution of this horse to go and get a horse as good as Romantic Warrior.
ロマンティックウォリアーよりいい馬っていうことですかね。
いや、ロマンティックウォリアーも素晴らしかったと思いますけども、さっと信じてました。
You know, of course, Romantic Warrior is such a strong horse. We respect him, but our horse was much better than today.
Tell me what you were thinking when he went past you. Did you think you would have a chance of going and winning the race, or did you think that was it?
直線でこうロマンティックウォリアー先行かれてさせるって思ってました。
まだチャンスはあると思ってました。
I was believing he still come back to pass the Romantic Warrior.
How does he do it, this horse? Travel all around the world and always run a good race, always turn up.
世界中どこでも彼はいいパフォーマンスしますよね。それはどういう理由ですかね。
旅が好きな馬なんで、それが良かったです。
He loved traveler. Yeah.
And you do. How do you do it? Every time, wherever you go, Breeders' Cup, Dubai, Saudi, at home in Japan.
私も大好きです。旅が。
I love travel too.
Well done.
ありがとう。
Thank you.
That is the connections of the champion dirt horse, we can say right now. Yoshito Yahagi with Forever Young. Just having a congratulations. The man in the hat, we've seen it before. He has a Forever Young pin. There is the horse. There is Ryusa Sayaki. He's beat Romantic Warrior. He's beat the big talking horse. But let's be honest, he was one of the big talking horses coming into this race with his exploits on the dirt in America, in Dubai, in Japan last year. And he's come back to Saudi Arabia, where he sort of started his whole endeavor on the dirt last year. And he's done so really, really well. Tom Collins, you've been here a lot. That just raised the roof on the grandstand.
You know what? And I know recency bias is huge when it comes to horse racing. That's the best race I've ever seen live.
Yeah, it's in my top 5. I will not put it ahead of saying Catherine Blame. I don't think you would, Rachel. But pick it up early on. Ushba Tesoro, no surprise, playing the role of Idle Jack in this panto.
No, but the surprise, from the outside draw, all of a sudden, hold-up horse in Forever Young. Yes, he dabbled with pace running last time out, decides to go across, and you know who he gets right in front of?
How great is that?
It's a bit Yoshigo Yahagi. How is Shin Emperor going to be run? Well, the distance is not a problem. Make all the running. How's this going to work? Not a problem. Make the running. He goes up and he settles in front, and you've got, respectively, the cheap speed horses.
Ushba Tesoro is idling well in rear.
Look how much ground he closes up, by the way. We're talking about the top 2, and rightly so, but he runs a great race.
Same with Rattle and Roll.
Yeah.
1:49.1 the winning time,
which is a stakes record time for the Saudi Cup. This is the fastest running of this race
by far.
So not only did it tick the visuals box, the 2 best horses, but also the time.
But crucial moments in the race. This is one such, not major, but certainly worth mentioning. At this point, there's no room at the inn with 4 big, strong horses going head-to-head. James McDonald has to check out and roll 5 wide, but look at the power he travels into the race with. At this point, you would have thought this is going to be Romantic Warrior's race.
His turn of foot is ridiculous, isn't it? It is ridiculous.
But, you can read too much into body language. Look at both horses, but especially the way he bows his head, Romantic Warrior. His appetite for racing is tremendous. But have a look at this. I'm not knocking Manon. Look at that 1 look, 2 looks at the screen. The whip has not been drawn at this point.
Would that have helped? He's still pushing the horse out. He's never stopped riding. Now he's properly riding. And guess what? He's not going any faster.
Absolutely. But don't forget that screen is a little behind real time, Rachel.
He didn't curl up in front, Romantic Warrior. Forever Young switched leads when J-Mac came in front of him on Romantic Warrior. Switched leads and found out of the gear.
If Forever Young had gone for another big race at the moment, you would be looking at your figures here and saying, this is off the charts, Romantic Warrior. He's taken Ushbert Tesoro and he has put him through the mincer.
Take either of those first 2 horses out of this race. They've won by 10.5 lengths. Cleared away, 10.5 lengths.
120 is your threshold for a very solid Group 1 horse. 130 is your threshold for a crack. And both the first 2 there have hit that 130 barrier.
Amazing.
What a wonderful, what a spectacular sporting event that was. There didn't deserve to be a loser, but there is, and it's Romantic Warrior, and he might have been beaten by the best turf horse on the planet, dirt horse on the planet right now. Would you disagree with that? You know about Locked and Fierceness, and you know all about these horses.
Yeah, there's only 2 other dirt horses in the world that would hold a candle to him. Fierceness, maybe. Sierra Leone, we know because he's beaten him, but he's got a foot abscess. What he's just done right now, had Sierra Leone rocked up here, he would have had a major chance because the track would have very much suited him. But from the evidence in the book, until everybody gets out, we have more PPs with him. Yes, he is the best dirt horse in the world. To travel, to do it, to face up to another rival who is a cosmic megastar, albeit on a different surface, who's run really well here tonight. But to get headed and battle back, I don't care if it's a 5 grand claimer or if it's a Grade 1. A horse that gets headed and battles back, that goes to the top in my book.
And you look from a global point of view, America is watching. Thank you for watching tonight. Europe is watching. There are new sheriffs in town now, aren't there? Yeah. They're from Hong Kong and they're from Japan, and they are absolutely done. And talk about easy power, intense, easy power there. From the moment that race started, those 2 horses were rolling at a severe, severe pace, and they came away from a high-class field as if they were second-raters. Tremendous, absolutely tremendous.
Couldn't have asked for more.
No, absolutely not, other than a dead heat, which I flagged up in our preview yesterday, and we were pretty close. But 2 jockeys, James McDonald, he'll watch that race again and think, what else could I have done? But maybe the most important moment, Rachel, was not this point where he kicks for home. His cards are on the table.
Change
then.
leads here, though.
Exactly, and he just checked. Because he's in danger of checking behind the leader. But the moment when he had to roll 5 wide, there was a little, I'm not saying loss of momentum, because he tanked his way to the front, the runner-up.
That's actually interesting, because that actually just shows how immature as actually a dirt horse that Forever Young is, because they are trained, they come around the turn, they're on the turn on the left lead. They're supposed to switch automatically when they come into the lane, to the right lead, to try and gain that little bit of extra oomph from using their shoulder that hasn't been used as much. He actually waited till about 100 meters out when he switched out there. Yeah. That's what gave him the extra boost. Yeah. You go and watch a lot of American racing, they come off the turn and immediately it switched. He didn't wait. It's a long stretch, which I can see that Jockey sort of waited on him, but he used that as an excuse. I have to switch out, because you knew from a second that when James McDonald got in front, he was going to cross over and block him, a bit like Forever Young did early doors, so fair play. But that was a very good excuse to jump out, switch leads, and that gave him an extra boost.
Wasn't it fascinating that Romantic Warrior, the non-dirt horse, was super professional switching his leads, and the dirt horse, Forever Young, wasn't? But when he did, he came back. How often do you see horses get passed and then re-rally when the horse that passes them is top tier?
And the boy who
very rarely,
the boy who got up on the line to win the Saudi Derby last year becomes a man in the Saudi Derby. A spectacular winner. We used to talk about the jockey. He's still in his early 20s. Sakai. A spectacular, groundbreaking day for him, and just imagine how many more big races he could win if he gets the luck. But have a look at this 5 wide Romantic Warrior. He doesn't gallop into the lead. He accelerates into the lead, which is something you seldom see in a world-class dirt race. And at this point, only one horse can stay within cooey of him.
I'd love to know that sectional around the turn, because those 2 immediately put 4 to 5 lengths between themselves and the rest. Romantic Warrior obviously made up a length or 2 in the process. This is the best stretch battle I've seen for a long time.
The bar has been set at Sotomayor levels for 2025 now. It really has, hasn't it? It's February, the 3rd week in February, and if we see a better international Group 1 race than that this year, we'll be very lucky.
Absolutely. That was phenomenal.
And we will probably come the Breeders' Cup, but
listen, we all start looking forward very quickly. Danny Shum said one thing, we're going to Dubai for turf. There's another conversation to be had now, isn't there, for Romantic Warrior?
Imagine.
Maybe.
You've got great options. You can go for the Dubai turf, which he'd be a very strong favourite to win, albeit he's had a very hard race there. But would you not be tempted to give it another lash in Dubai on dirt after that?
Why not?
Problems,
Why not? Different track,
different surface.
But
I think they will go back to the turf and say,
I think so.
You know, it's 2,000 metres, of course, the Dubai World Cup, which would put that little bit more emphasis on staying power. And we saw from that race that he is a superior speed horse to practically anything around at the moment.
Yeah. The thing is, even if they do go back to turf, they've tried dirt. They tried it on a big stage.
Well, it's not like they lost anything in defeat.
They lost nothing in defeat. They gave us one of the best battles we've seen for a long time.
Oh, if you're the marketing team here at Riyadh Racecourse, you're saying, "Ooh, I'm not sure that could have worked out a right lot better," aren't you? Yeah,
100%.
Well, at least James McDonald doesn't have to worry about missing his flight now.
No, he's got to get back. He's got to get back to ride Voyage Bubble tomorrow,
exactly.
and I would imagine he'll be thinking what might have been pretty much all the way home.
Yeah.
Also, he might be thinking,
how proud he is.
I'm real proud of my lad here, because he took the kickback. He didn't stop. He didn't display any of the issues. He got lucky because he got a bit of a gap, and then when he was going to get slammed over, he made the decision that makes him champion jockey. I got to go wide. I can't sit and suffer. We're going to go wide. I want to take the horse completely out of his uncomfortable zone and get him comfortable. And then
his owner, though, he's a key player, and we should mention Peter Lau. Was that very bright blue tunic with a golden horse, and the golden horse had a crown on his head, and the crown has slipped slightly for Romantic Warrior, but only very slightly.
He's not undefeated. It's fine. He didn't lose anything in defeat.
He gained a lot in defeat.
Exactly, but he's not an undefeated horse, and he's gone and shown he can do it in a different country and on a different surface against a true champion at this level.
Just the 10.5 of your Saudi lengths back to the third horse, Rachel. So in other words, the first two have given the rest a 20-pound pounding, and Ushba Tesoro came into this race with a rating of well into the teens, didn't he, I think?
Yeah, 119.
119. They've given a 119 Dubai World Cup winner a hell of a beating. So if you're looking at high numbers on your Longines World's Best Racehorse rankings, you're starting right here this year.
And it's not like the rivals in behind didn't turn up. Ushba Tesoro,
let's go through them, Tom, go on.
Yeah, Ushba Tesoro ran his race. He was way back early, but he ran his race. Wilson Tesoro finished in 4th. Top quality horse that wasn't far behind Forever Young in Japan. Rattle and Roll, the best of the American that's here, won the local trial. He closed out and ran his race. He was strong at the line. And Ramjet, very similar to Wilson Tesoro and Ushba Tesoro, based on the Japanese form.
Talk about two things: pace making the race, and trainers getting their horses to peak. Forever Young beat the two Tesoros and Ramjet over Christmas, but he didn't beat them by a long way. But he beat them with his 2 ears pricked, giving the impression. And the first thing you said yesterday when we rehearsed was, they're not beating Forever Young.
No.
Whatever happens, they're not. And the trainer has got that horse to peak. The horse has relished a more severe gallop today, and he's put enormous spaces on his old rivals. In other words, he produced a peak performance in the Breeders' Cup Classic. He's bettered that again today, and who's to say that come Del Mar in early November?
Yep.
I think it's November 1st actually this year.
He could
it's the first weekend in November.
He could crown himself the premier dirt horse on the planet.
I think he will, and I know we're talking about Saudi and not Breeders' Cup in general here, but he is still raw, where he was raw before today.
9 races, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And last year in the Classic, he got a terrible post in 1, and he ran a great race, finished 3rd. He was on the speed, not many of the speed horses, Fierceness did, but not many of them sustained, and he ran great. Give him a better draw, give him a wide post, a middle post, and if he breaks better like he did today, who's to say he's not going to win?
But the thing is, I don't think he needs a better draw, because today we just saw completely and utterly different Forever Young. He was ridden to get the lead. That wasn't because he broke well and Jockey took advantage. And also, like we said in the prelims, there's one thing missing. His fate could.
Yes.
They just went fine.
That is very true.
There we go. He has grown up. He's lost the dummy. He's lost the pacifier. The training wheels came off today. Yep. And that's what happened. And I think in 8 months' time, we still have a whole nother classic crop of American and Japanese dirt horses to come through. There's some really sexy horses coming through, no less. The Bob Baffert trained Barnes, who could be a very expensive superstar or a very expensive flop. We don't know. But so far, he's been a superstar. We also, in 8 months' time, a lot can happen. And also, Del Mar is not a track that I think suits Forever Young. But given what we just saw, a change in run style, change in tactics, change in demeanor, maybe in 8 months' time, it will be.
He already showed he was kind of 3/4 the way there to be a Breeders' Cup Classic winner. Today, with, as you say, a different running style, the fact he didn't wear the hood, I think he's very, very close. I think he's 4/5, 5/6 towards a classic winner. Now he's just got to have a great prep up to the classic. Hope that there's not a star 3-year-old, as you say. Barnes could be anything. We need to wait for the Derby to see what happens there. But right now, I think on credentials, he's the best horse around. And let's say Sierra Leone did run today. I'll be shocked if he ran as well as to win that race. I mean, it's all hypothetical in opinion because obviously he's not here, but I can't see Sierra Leone matching the likes of Forever Young and Romantic Warrior. That was it's just phenomenal. I think Forever Young's a brilliant racehorse.
No, I think the way that the race panned out today, he probably would have finished third. He probably would have beaten Tesoro because he would have been not as far back, but he would have been a bit too far back and make that one run that he makes, that long, scintillating run, but it just, they weren't coming back to him and he probably wouldn't have got to them.
100% agree with that.
But that's the case on Saudi Cup Day 2025 in the books. In the end, Japan won 4 races.
Okay, there's no question what the highlight of the day is. We've just seen it, and it will live in the memory for many, many years. A spectacular stretch duel between Forever Young, the Japanese samurai, and Romantic Warrior, the Hong Kong hero. The applause rings out for the presentation. It's been an epic night for Japan. We've seen horses who are highly likely to go on and win more good races as the international calendar progresses. Thank you especially to you, Rachel, and to you, Tom. Your insight and company and humour and detail is massively appreciated. I hope we've made a good team for you all to listen to at home. I hope you have enjoyed the coverage from Saudi World Cup night in Riyadh, and I hope we speak again as the year goes on. Thanks to Tim, thanks to Nick, thanks to everyone who has put this flying circus together, got this balloon in the air. Thanks to Richard Hoyles, deadly as ever in the caller's box. And the image you are seeing is Mohammed bin Salman presenting the winning trophies to Yoshito Yahagi and Ryoku Sasaki. It has been a spellbinding night, and these images are a fitting end to a spectacular sports event. Not just a racing event, a global sports event. Nobody who's a sports fan can watch that race and not be moved. Thank you, and good night from all of us.